Hello, I am Pastor Katie Jacob, and I serve Holy Trinity Lutheran Church in Massillon, Ohio. Welcome to Beauty in the Dust, Lenten reflections on ordinary things. This is the devotional for Saturday, March 20th, on the theme Coins. Today's reading is Romans chapter 13, verses 8 through 11, and I'm reading from the NRSV. Owe no one anything, except to love one another. For the one who loves another has fulfilled the law. The commandments, you shall not commit adultery, you shall not murder, you shall not steal, you shall not covet, and any other commandment are summed up in this word: love your neighbor as yourself. Love does no wrong to a neighbor. Therefore, love is the fulfilling of the law. Besides this, you know what time it is, how it is now the moment for you to wake from sleep. For salvation is nearer to us now than when we became believers. So a few years ago, there was this comedy show called The Good Place. And the premise of this show was that throughout our lives, we earn points. And so you can earn positive points by doing good things, or you can earn negative points by doing bad things. And when you die, if you've earned enough positive points, then you go to the good place. If you've earned enough negative points, you go to the bad place. Now, eventually in this show, they have this ethical discussion on the point system. And they figure out that in our world today, things are so interconnected and complicated that even the very simple act of buying an apple at the grocery store, using our coins to buy an apple, that can have negative effects on the world around us, and therefore earn you negative points and send you to the bad place. They talk about how something so simple as buying an apple, right, can have negative effects. Because maybe that apple was grown and harvested by workers who were not paid a living wage, or perhaps are mistreated or abused by their bosses. Perhaps in order to get that perfect ruby red apple, they had to use tons of pesticides. And those pesticides contributed to the death of honeybees, which contributed to the death of our ecosystem. On this show, they figured out that something so simple as spending our coins on an apple could have negative effects on the world around us, and therefore earn us negative points and send us to the bad place. Now, thankfully, we do not have to worry about this point system, because we have a God who doesn't keep track of points, because there would be absolutely no purpose of God tracking points, because every day, through God's great forgiveness, God wipes the slate clean. God gives us a fresh start. And so even if we think we've earned good or bad points, God is not keeping track, because God wipes the slate clean through God's forgiveness. So thankfully, we don't have to worry about the point system that this show talks about. But this ethical discussion on how something so simple as spending our coins on an apple can have negative effects on this world, that is something for us to think about. Like our text from Romans says, as Christians, we are called to love our neighbors. We're called through everything that we say and do to love our neighbors as ourselves, right? And so if it is true that the purchase of an apple can have negative effects on this world, the opposite is also true. The purchase of an apple can have positive effects on this world. When we are intentional about how we spend our coins, we can transform that ordinary coin or that ordinary apple that we've bought into an act of love towards our neighbors. If we're intentional about buying products that are local, right, so that we are supporting local businesses, through that coin that we spent, we loved our neighbors. If we are intentional about buying an apple that we know didn't use pesticides to be grown, right, we are using that ordinary coin to love our neighbors because we know that that is caring for the environment. When we spend our coins and we are intentional about buying from organizations who defend the rights of their workers, who pay a living wage, if we are intentional in that way, we can turn an ordinary coin into an act of love. And so, my brothers, sisters, siblings, in this season of Lent, as we consider the ordinary coins that we have and how we love our neighbors, when we are intentional about how we spend our coins, we can turn an ordinary coin into an act of love towards our neighbors. Amen.